such a space cadet. Okay. Hello. Welcome to the Little Fish Stitches podcast. My name is Megan. I am the crafty person behind this podcast and my Etsy shop, Creations by Guppy, and my Instagram, which is Little Fish Stitches. Yeah. Okay. So today is Tuesday, March 13th, and it is around 11 in the morning, and this is about my fourth start for the podcast. Yeah, that's how the day's going. So I just want to say thank you for joining me. If this is your first time, please ignore the crazy and continue watching because don't ignore the crazy because it's what makes the podcast half the fun. And then if you are a returning viewer, thank you for sticking with me through all the crazy, and welcome back. Let's see here. Administrative stuff. Okay, so I had to draw a new name for the 100 YouTube subscriber giveaway because the previous person who was drawn never contacted me. So the new number, which I drew through random number generator, and I will pop up on the screen somewhere at some point, show you proof I drew this number. It was number 4 out of 2 through 14, 1 being my post, so I'm not eligible. Yeah. So I drew post number 4, which was Linda, and her Ravelry ID is IMECOLL. Not sure if I know how to say that or if I'm saying it right at all. But Linda, you are the winner. Please send me either a Instagram message or a Ravelry message to claim your prize. And that your prize will be 1 bag of choice and 1 skein of yarn of choice from my Etsy shop. So go browse my Etsy, find out what you would like, and get back to me. I did also announce this on Instagram. Brain, get the right words in order. Instagram. I'm doing a shop clearance of bags from last fall through winter, and so I'm just trying to get some prints cleared out so I can put some new stuff in the shop. So bags right now, a select number of bags are 25% off. And, so yeah, go check out my shop, see what might be there that bag wise that you think you might want. Because once those prints are sold, there will be no more of them. So, yeah, check it out. It goes through the end of March. So you have a couple more weeks to get in on that deal. And then, oh yes, I didn't really introduce myself other than saying I'm Megan. So, I am Megan, and I live in Aberdeen, Washington. I'm married to my husband, Brian, and we have 2 sons, James and Connor. And James is 14, Connor is 8. And we have a little doggy named Bella. She's not so little, she's 50-something pounds. And she's a Walker Hound Pit Bull mix, we think. She's rescue, so we don't know for sure. Anyway, she's been with us for about 4 years now. And, yeah. Okay, that's us. We live in Aberdeen, which is a teensy tiny town on the coast of Washington. Which might have made news if you are in the Northwest area, recently, because there was a, I don't know if it's, okay, I'm not good at science, so don't laugh at me here. It was either an asteroid or a meteorite. Don't laugh at me. I'm laughing at me. I don't know which one it was. Small, it's not anything humongous, but it was the biggest one in decades, apparently. Last week on Wednesday, there was this big boom and a huge flash of light around 7 in the evening, and it was heard and seen all throughout our county. And I didn't know what it was for a few days because, you know, big boom. What? Big flash of the light. What? No evidence anywhere of anything crashing. So I had to wait for science people to do their jobs and figure it out. But anyway, that was an interesting thing that happened this past week here. So yeah. I guess that's it for intros and admin stuff. So yeah. Okay, so in case you're wondering why I'm in a different location, I got bored with being upstairs. That's why I'm down here in my bedroom next to where I actually keep all my knitting. This is literally my spot. I'm in my bedroom. The tripod is very precariously perched on my bed / the steps up to my bed because I'm a short person and I have a tall bed. So yeah, I'm sitting here in my bedroom next to my knitting bag stash. My knitting projects, they hang here. This is a fairly new setup, but I really am happy with it, and keeps all my bags from being scattered all over the floor in this general area. So yes. All right, so finished object. Now, you guys have not seen this finished because I wasn't allowed to show it until the pattern was released. I'm not going to stand up because you're not going to be able to see much, but it's a 3/4 sleeve sweater. This is by Annie, who goes by This Bird Knits on Instagram, and this is called the Jules Sweater. She named it after her sister, Jules, Jules, and I believe it's been released. I think she released it about a week ago, and so it's got a high-low hem, and I need to post some pictures on Instagram. I will post my pictures on Instagram now that the pattern has been released. And my hair is doing funky things. And did I have pink hair last time I was on? I don't think I did. I think I got my hair done in between last podcast and now. Anyway, it's pink now. So yeah, finished object. It's been a finished object for about a month now. So now I can finally show you. Yay! So I will actually put some pictures up on here too, to show you the completely finished object. Yeah, so hey, I have a finished object. I don't really have any other finished objects. I have in this bag, my bag by the Naughty Mommy, that Crafty Little Fox. I get it mixed up because she goes by the Naughty Mommy on, and KNOTTY, Naughty Mommy on Instagram. But anyway, so this is a project you have yet to see. But anyway, the bag is not anything that's available these days. It's one of her older club bags she did with a yarn buyer. So anyway, I have no ends woven in, but it's a half finished object technically. So this is just a vanilla sock, and the yarn is, you see all that sparkle in there? Look at that. Silver Stellina. This is from the Yarn Jar. And the heel toe cuff is Knit Picks Stroll in the highlighter colorway. And the yarn jar colorway is called Art Class, I believe. And I knit this on a size 0 needle. I have moved down from a 1 to a 0. I did go up. I went up a stitch count, so instead of a 64 stitch, this is a 68 stitch sock. And then I did something, because I've been having a little bit of instep tightness, that I tried something, and this is, I generally use a Fish Lips Kiss Heel, so that is what this is, but I took one stitch from either side of the front needle, switched it around to the back needle, and then did my heel. And when I tried this sock on, it fit really well. So I think that might work for me in the future. It makes the heel just a little bit deeper. It only 2 stitches deeper, but still it makes a difference. And so now I have this lovely sock, which is finished. And then I have cast on sock number 2 and done the first stripe of the, the toe and the first stripe. So there it is. And so half finished object that you had not even seen yet, because I started it after last podcast. So put that back up there. And then I guess we'll go straight into works in progress, since that's kind of where we're at, really. And this is in one of my bags, one of my zipper side bags. And this is my Shusui. And you guys are going to notice quite a difference in it. And I haven't actually worked on this in about a week, which is kind of annoying, but you'll see why in a little bit. It's a lot smaller than it was last time. So, I don't know what I was doing, because I'm a Brioche newbie. And this pattern is by Suzanne Summers. Anyway, so now that I have managed to make my brioche look correct, it was doing this weird wavy line thing before, where this is, you know, brioche is supposed to be straight knitting, and it was all like wavy and wonky looking. So I tore the whole thing out and started over completely, like 100%, tore it out, started over. And I'm really glad I did, even though I had to redo this much, and my previous work was more than twice this size already. So yeah, frustrating, but definitely worth it to get the end product that will make me happy. So I have kind of been neglecting this, though, because I just got caught up in working on my Comfort Fade cardigan again. It was kind of on the back burner for a little while. I was not doing much with it. This is also in that Crafty Little Fox, one of my bags from her. And this is the Winter Roses print, and I love it. It's one of my favorites. So last time I showed you guys my cardigan, I was not quite to the hem. Well, hem is done completely. This is the inside. This is the outside. So I've got the hem done. I've got sleeve 1 done. And I'm 2/3 of the way done with sleeve 2. Woohoo! So I have to finish the sleeve, which I think I might be able to get done today, because I did all of this sleeve yesterday. All of it. I picked up my stitches. All of it. And I only have, I've been keeping my, thank you Lacey of the Knitted Cupcake podcast. It was an idea she got from somebody, but I've been keeping my markers to keep track of my decreases. I have them clipped to my little bumblebee progress keeper beginning of round marker. So I have them clipped, and I just do my every so often decreases, and when I'm out, I'm out, and then I just continue on, which is not very far after the last decrease. I think I did 6 or so rows after the last decrease, and then the cuff. And I did my sleeves inside out. I did not want to work them entirely purling sleeves. So my cuffs, I think, shouldn't be stripy. They should be more faded instead of striped, but I don't care. They're supposed to be this, which is a little less stark, but I'm like, you know what? I don't care. I don't care enough to undo it and re-knit it right side out. So, because this is a garter cuff. And yeah, so I'm getting so much closer to done. And then after I finish the sleeve, then I just have the collar to do, or the band, you know, whatever that thing is around the front neck, front thing. I know my words, right? There. So, Comfort Fade Cardi is coming along nicely. So close to done. I'm hoping I'll have it finished by the end of this week. We'll see. It will definitely 100%. Now I'm going to jinx myself. Be a finished object on my next podcast. And then I have not, well, okay, I have touched my Sunset Highway sweater. Again, stocking it on the body. Oh boy, I did another inch. Coming along slowly. So I'm not going to show you. It's the Sunset Highway sweater. I'm slogging my way through miles of stockinette on the body. I did pull this up here. This is my son's blanket. I did actually do some work. And I think I'm actually mid-row on this. Yeah, mid-row. So my husband's been pestering me to finish this. So, since I last did the podcast, I put in a stitch marker to see. So I did a couple inches on the blanket. I really need to work some more on it, but other knitting projects are so distracting. And I've already knit this blanket once. It's on my bed. It's queen size and solid gray. It's kind of dull to do again. So, yeah. Anyway, trying to be good and get a couple rows done on this. I'm trying to do it every day. It's not happening every day, but I want to do, like, if I can do 2 or 3 rows every day and get this thing done, because 2 or 3 rows is an inch. And if I can get an inch done every day, that would be good. I have not touched my husband's boring stripy socks or my speckled space socks, because other socks came into the equation, namely my yarn jar socks. And another pair of socks, which I am not going to show you because they're for my mother and she watches the podcast and knows she's getting socks for her birthday. So I'm not going to show them until they're finished objects, and hopefully after she's seen them. I'm going to probably just snap a photo. But the thing is, I am designing another sock pattern. Just for you, Mom. Just for you. So I cannot show you that right now, but I am really happy with how they're turning out. I think they are very pretty. I'm using striping yarn. I'll tell you that much, Mom. Striping yarn. I'm not going to tell you what colors or anything, but they're going to be fun. And then in this bag, which is my scrappy thread bag, which is made from Pendleton blanket scraps and duck canvas, I have a neckband. I'm designing a sweater, you guys. I'm designing a sweater, and I'll show you. This is see, I told you it's on the bed. This is the yarn that I dyed to make myself a sweater. I'm gonna match. I'm gonna be color coordinated with my sweater. And I still don't have a name for this, but I was I don't know why, and this is totally random, but I was thinking Damask Blush. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, that is the yarn that I'm using, and I have cast on this neckline and taken it out 4 or 5 different times. Sweater writing craziness. Let's see here. I'm not gonna, it clunks too much, and I can just hang it by that. And then that's it. That's all my works in progress. So coffee. I've been making cold brew at home, you guys. It's delicious. I did a little yarn dyeing. The yarn that I just showed you. And I had a couple skeins. Sorry, I keep shaking the tripod. I had a couple skeins that I just did not like how they turned out the original dye job. And so these will probably become socks for my kids or husband at some point. But I just decided turquoise is a good color to use to cover gray, green bases. So this one was gray with some weird, the speckling did not turn out at all how I liked it, how I wanted it. So I overdyed with turquoise. The base was mostly gray, and now the speckles just look kind of black. So usable finally, not wasting a skein of yarn. And then this one had been green originally and the speckles were red. And it just was too not good. Too not good. But the turquoise took to the green so well. I love how this looks now. And it's just the depth of color in this is just so fun. I love it. And now I need to experiment with over dyeing. I'll set this one down gently so I don't shake the tripod. So those are just for me. But yeah. So, again, mentioning shop, I still have not listed those bags that I showed last time in the shop, but that's because I want to do a little clearance before I list new stuff, which I mentioned at the beginning. So check out the shop. A lot of bags are on clearance. And then, now, a lot of you who follow me on Instagram have probably seen I took a coastal Salish weaving class this past weekend at the Black Sheep Yarn Boutique in Olympia, and I had so much fun. It was a wonderful class to take. The teacher's name was Susan Pavel. She herself is not native, but her husband is, like me. Her husband's from the Skokomish tribe. She learned weaving from a weaving master, basically, about 25-ish years ago, I think, is what she said. So she's been doing it for a long time, and she's an excellent teacher, and I picked up on it, like, super fast. I got called Speedy Gonzalez at one point by one of the other students. So, that's just how I'm built, though. That's how I'm wired. I pick up crafty things quickly. So I learned how to weave coastal Salish style, and my husband is Quinault, which I have mentioned before, and that is one of the coastal Salish tribes. Basically, if you are from a tribe along the northwest coast, you're coastal Salish. So it was really interesting to learn how to do this, and it's interesting also how very simple it is. It is not a complex process other than maybe warping your loom. So the first finished object we've completed, the first wall hanging basically is what it became, we were instructed to give away. So I gave mine away, but there is a photo of me holding it on Instagram. I may also pop it up here or something. I gave it to my husband because of his heritage, so he took it to work with him and hung it up in his office. But I started a second one on day 2 of the class because I think there was, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There were total 10 of us learning at this class, and about half of us, me included, finished our first piece on day 1, and it's a 2-day class. So day 2, I was able to reinforce by starting another weaving project, and I was able to, I think I finished it about 2/3 of the way before deciding just to take it and go home. And I got to take my loom home with me. I was going to pay for it, but the teacher decided that instead of me paying for it, we would do a trade. So I'm going to do some sewing for her, and she did it, sewing for her in the amount of what it would have cost for the loom. So I think that's an excellent trade. I was totally happy to do that. I'd rather give a couple hours of my time, and it wasn't cheap for the loom. And I don't charge cheaply for my sewing. So I actually charge more per hour for my sewing than I make per hour at my job. Because sewing is a valuable commodity, and I'm not going to undervalue what I do. So yeah, that's my smidgen piece on sewing for hire. Anyway, so this is, I finished it last night. I did all my weaving in of ends, and which you do with weaving as well, and twisting up my tassels and whatnot. So this is my second coastal Salish weaving piece. And oh, it's easier to see the pattern on the video than it is when I'm holding it up in front of me. That's cool. So I went a little more complicated with this weaving pattern. You can see how there are 3 squares basically, or 3 centers. 1, 2, 3. And then this is where the warp was attached to the center bar. And this is the tassels, and I mean, I had so much fun doing this, and this is going to hang somewhere in my house. I'm not sure where quite yet, but I'm going to put a little video of me warping my loom at the end of this, so stay tuned. And I did start another weaving project yesterday. I did go out and I bought Joann Fabrics on Sunday only, had a 40% off yarn sale. And so I just went and I bought, I'm just going to kind of show you, there's like, this bag is full of bulky yarn, which bulky is not something I have a lot of, so 40% off a bunch of yarn, yay. Especially since bulky is what we use for weaving. So I started a new, okay, so let me see if I can do this. Here it is. This is the, I'm gonna get up there. So this loom is kind of big, but basically it's just this side, this bar, and a loose dowel that you attach all the yarn to. And I chose to make my warp multicolored, which I hadn't done yet. So I have obviously 3 different colors going on my warp here. And then I have, you can see that the weaving has that deep purple, and then the the pale teal color, pale blue. Those are being held together. Let's see if I can pull this out here. This is very awkward, you guys. Oh, and this is my lovely tapper. See here. I tucked the I don't know all my terms, so if I mess something up and you're a weaver, don't laugh at me too hard, okay? This doohickey. I'm spacing right now. I cannot remember what it's called. But I have it wound up with the 2 colors of yarn, one being lace weight and one being a bulky weight. And because I saw this on one of the teacher's weaving examples that she brought. And I'm like, that looks really cool. I think I want to try it. So this part right here is called, let's see if I can remember it. What is it called, Megan? I can't remember. My brain will not work right now. Starts with a T, I think. Oh my gosh. Anyway, yes. So this is a different type. You don't use this. You just use your hands to do this part. And then this part is done with this doohickey. And, do not expect me to teach weaving ever, please, because I can't remember anything, apparently. But I know what I'm doing physically. I know how to do it. So, and it's been lots of fun, and I can't wait to see how this turns out. I'm not sure if this is going to be a wall hanging or if it's going to be something else, like a table runner. We'll see. I don't know. I'm just enjoying it. And, I mean, it's something that I can do when I need a little break from knitting, but I still want to be working in the fiber arts type stuff. So I had a great time at my class. I would highly recommend you take a class on coastal Salish weaving if you ever get the chance. Yeah. So basically that's my acquisitions, along with here, this is what I did this past weekend. Excuse me. This big bag of yarn, the stuff on the loom being some of the yarn I bought this weekend. The other yarn was what the teacher had available for the class. And the only other acquisition that I have is what my mom's socks are living in. So I can show you the bag, but I can't show you what's in the bag. And guess what, you guys? I bought another that crafty little fox bag. But can you see why? I had to have it. Knit. Born to knit. That's what it says. It says born to knit above that little skein of yarn. And then knitting takes balls. Okay. So anyway, there's a little slightly naughty bag, but I love it. Oh, and I put my TARDIS on this bag. So that is my acquisitions. Big bag of bulky yarn and a project bag and a loom. So there you go. So let's see here. Let's move on to life stuff, because I basically think I've covered everything else. I've been doing a lot of spring cleaning, I guess if you want to call it that. Like my bedroom, I rearranged completely. My bed used to be this direction. It is now this direction, which are basically the 2 ways that I could put a bed in this room, unless you had it like a twin size bed, which ain't gonna happen, because I'm a bed hog and there's no way my husband and I could fit in a twin size bed. Yeah, I'm weird, I know. So anyway, moved the bed, rearranged things. My husband's dresser used to be on this wall, this direction, and I moved it to under the window over there. It took him like a week to get used to the fact that his dresser wasn't over there anymore. my dresser's there now. So anyway, so I've rearranged my bedroom. We got a new computer with part of our tax return. And so what we decided to do with our old one, because it's still functional, even though it's not great, was to let the kids have it. And so we bought a desk, an inexpensive one from Staples that just like folds. I didn't even have to set it up. Just pull it out of the box, fold it open. So I got that. And then we're like, oh, we need a place to put this desk. So I had to rearrange my dining room / family room. I have this room we use as a dining room because the dining room that comes in our house is our office, because the dining room is minuscule and there's no way an actual 4-person dining table could fit in it. So it's just our office. So the family room is also the dining room, because it's right off the kitchen. And so I had to rearrange that room. And so that got a major cleaning along with being rearranged. And so now I have this big old black bookshelf from IKEA, one of those big cube bookshelves. I think there's like 12 cubbies in it. So that's sticking out from the wall instead of being against a wall. And so that's sticking out from a wall. On one side of it is our little family room area, and on the other side of it is the dining room area with the desk tucked in a corner. So that happened. And then I went through my bathroom, the master bathroom, and I did a major cleaning and rearranged and organized all my stuff that was all over the counter. And a couple days ago, I went into my kitchen and I took all the pictures off the fridge because they were driving me nuts. I'm like, it's like somebody's photo album exploded on my fridge. So my fridge is down to the bare minimum right now. And then I don't know what I'm going to move on to next, but I feel like it's something's coming, and I'm going to rearrange another room next, probably the living room. Now, if only I could figure out a way to get Connor to leave his toys in his bedroom, because right now my living room is Connor's playroom, and there are Legos and Nerf guns and books everywhere. Yeah. So that's basically what I've been up to. Oh, on the I have MS front, I went to my doctor in Seattle like a week ago. And he's like, "What? You don't have your injection medicine yet? I'm going to yell at people now." So I have my injection medicine finally. Even though it's like I had to pay out of pocket a really large amount of money. I'm not going to say exactly how much, but it's ridiculous how much this prescription costs. And it's a good thing medical cost sharing will cover the cost of my prescription, because otherwise there's no way I would be on this medicine. Not even with regular insurance. That's how insanely expensive it is. So I'm waiting right now for a phone call from the nurse who is going to come to the house and help me learn how to stab myself 3 times a week with medicine. So hopefully, I'll be on that in the next week or so. And what that particular medicine does is, if you're not aware, multiple sclerosis is an autoimmune disease where your immune system attacks the myelin in your body. And myelin is what coats your nerves. It's like if you had a electrical cord. It's the rubber on the outside of the cord, basically. And so when that coating around your nerves is gone, then there's trouble. And lots of weird, annoying, painful, strange things happen to your body when your nerves whack out. So what this medicine that I'm going to be taking is for is basically it is a synthetic type myelin, and it's supposed to, it's not going to replace the myelin that's gone at this point, because it's gone in my body. But it's there for my immune system to defend against that, if that makes sense. Instead of the myelin that's on my nerves. And at least this is the gist that I have gotten from the doctor's explanation. It's there for something for my autoimmune wackiness to go after instead of me and my nerves that I need the covering on. So I hope that makes sense. But anyway, I'm glad to be starting in on this medicine. I'm just hoping I can stay on it because it is so very, very expensive. So yeah. Let's see. Is there anything else I feel like I need to tell you about me? Nope. Unexciting life. Going to a band concert tonight for my son, 14-year-old son. He's got a junior high band concert. Excuse me. My little sister's pregnant. I'm going to be an auntie again. And let's see. Is there anything else? No. That's about it. Life has not been terribly exciting. Wait, no. Soccer started. Spring soccer. My younger son enjoys soccer, although it still baffles me as to why, because he's like all over the field and not paying attention to the coach or any of his teammates. I'm like, maybe it's just because he likes to run around. I don't know, but whatever. So we're doing spring soccer. We've had 2 practices so far. The first one, I froze my tushy off. The second one, it was 70 degrees out. So that's spring in the Northwest for you. Late winter, technically. Yeah, so between my husband being in a play and my son being in soccer, nobody's eating dinner together. Last night, the boys ate dinner before soccer. I ate dinner when we came home from soccer. And my husband ate dinner when he came home from his rehearsal. And I was just glad I made a crock pot meal. Because otherwise we would have all been eating like junk, basically, probably. So I made a crock pot meal, and it was actually really good. It's something I've made before, but not... It didn't quite fit my eating plan with the Trim Healthy Mama plan. So what I did was oh, that reminds me, you guys. Okay, so my little sister and I, because we've been doing this Trim Healthy Mama thing for a little over a year, and I do this podcast, we decided we wanted to do a Trim Healthy Mama lifestyle type podcast. So we did. And we've published the first one. We're probably only going to be doing it about once a month. And so if you want to look it up, I will put a link to it in the show notes and put the title of it up here. But it's separate from this account because I didn't want you guys being like, what the heck is this? I didn't want to watch this. But if you're interested, it's called THMified. And... So anyway, I THMified my stew that I made last night, which was, it's meatball stew. It's from a crock pot cookbook that I have. And it was my 5 ingredients or less crock pot recipes. So it was, and I may have to adjust this because I'm not sure it's exactly on plan, but it was a can of tomato soup, some water, meatballs from Costco, 2 carrots chopped up into bite-sized pieces, 2 small onions chopped up, and a bag of cauliflower. Little, frozen bite-sized cauliflower. And I put that in my crock pot around noon yesterday and I set it to high because it was noon and not early in the morning. So I set it to, and so it was on high, and the boys ate around 4:30, and it was done at that point. And I turned it to low to keep it warm until Brian and I ate, and it was good. It was really good. I don't think technically the meatballs, I haven't checked the ingredients on them. That's one of the things you have to check is ingredients on things. I'm like, I don't care. I don't eat those meatballs very often. It's not like they're going to ruin my plan. And tomato soup, I'm like, didn't check the carb count on that. It might have been a little high, but if anything, it was a crossover meal. But anyway, so I enjoyed dinner last night, even though none of us got to eat together. And if you're interested, check out mine and my sister Sarah's THMFI podcast. So probably shortly after Easter, there will be another one. So yeah. And I think it's finally it this time. I think I'm done. So I will talk to you all soon. I hope you have a nitty, crafty, super fun couple of weeks. And I will see you in a couple weeks. Probably shortly before Easter. Okay. Have a wonderful day. Okay, bye. Hi. I'm going to try to do a quick little video on how I set up the loom for coastal Salish weaving. And as you can see, I did 0 to my face today. I woke up. I put glasses on and a clip in my hair. I'm good to go. Just be real, people. This is how I am 90% of the time. Okay, so first off, I have to attach this dowel to my loom. And the way we do that is, if I can find the end of this, take some scrap yarn. This is one of my early dye jobs that I never actually used. And use whatever you have. And you want to measure around the top and bottom bar of your loom. And with a few inches to spare. So you need to cut 2 strings of approximately the same length. They don't have to be exact. And then set that aside. And I am in the great outdoors, so you'll hear cars driving by and whatnot. So tie a square knot around one end of your dowel with 1 string. And then around the other end of your dowel with the other string. Okay, so then you take these 2 strings, drape them over the back, pull them up from underneath, and hang on to them, let your dowel hang. There you go. Now what we're going to do is tie, again, snugly, the dowel end with this yarn. So that you're basically letting it hang there and just hold in place. And this yarn will eventually be removed. It's not actually used for anything other than putting this dowel in place. All right, other side. Okay. Now it's a little loose. Oh, come on, not again. Ugh. Didn't get it tight enough. I thought I did. Okay, so taking that off, trying it again. Because it can't be dragged down by the weight of itself. It has to stay put. Alright, see, now it's staying put. Alright. So, I have 4 different colors of yarn I'm going to be working with. I've got cream, natural base, mustard yellow. Actually 5 colors, but this kind of, it's hard to describe. Minty green grayish. And this soft pink. And deep purple. Wow, Bella, racing away. I'm in my backyard where the dog's running back and forth. So, I'm going to choose my warp colors, and I have not decided. I'm going to do multiple colors for my warp. Thinking maybe a little bit of all of them, but I'm going to start with my natural base. So I'm using a center pull ball. I'm going to tie on just a square knot to my dowel. And then I'm going to go up over the top. And I'm going to come through underneath. And then I'm going to go over my 3rd bar. And I'm going to go back around to the front. And underneath. And over the top. And around the 3rd bar. And over the top. Oops. And over the top this way. You gotta always go front to back, back to front. You gotta make sure that there are no strings crossing here, because then you're gonna mess yourself way up badly. So over the 3rd bar, back down, front, back, over the 3rd bar, up. Okay. Now I'm just going to keep going without talking and get my board warped and speed this up probably so that you guys don't get too bored. And now I have a fully warped board. Excuse me. I'm gonna sit down here. Oh, it's very tiring, but that's the hardest part. The rest is fun. So now I have my colors on here. I'm excited to see what I end up doing with this. So I will, oh yes, let's show what we do with the spare strings here. These ones that I tied on in the beginning. No, I need to snip them. I just need to slide them off the end of the dowel. Ta-da! And the dowel is now held in place. That's all there is to warping. It may look complicated, but it's really very simple. That's one thing I loved about taking this class from Susan Pavel. Was everything is very simple. This is something you don't need a special loom for, even though I do happen to have one now. I got mine because I'm trading some work with Susan. I'm doing some sewing for her and she's letting me have my loom. So that is what I have learned, and I'm glad I'm doing this for a couple reasons: to help me keep retaining what I've learned, and to show you just a little bit of what I have learned. So I don't want to show too much because it was a paid-for class, and being hands-on like that in a paid-for class is very worth it. Definitely worth it. So if you get a chance to take a weaving class, especially a coastal Salish weaving class, I think you would enjoy it. So there you go. Have fun learning to weave.